Hello and good day to you, my beautiful friends. I do hope you are well. Welcome to episode 102 of CrossButtonVR, our journey into the world of VR. I'm your host, Laurie, and it is an honour to be joined by two of the most passionate lovers in the metaverse. Or so I've heard. It's Alex and Reece. Hello, chaps.
Full of passion. Full of it.
Yeah,
okay.
Full of it.
That's an intro to that's one.
Well, it's Valentine's Day. It's Valentine's Day. It's, you know, when you can't be the passionate lovers when Valentine's Day.
When can you? Exactly.
You be?
I mean, yeah, we're all sitting here recording this on Valentine's Day instead of being elsewhere. So it says a lot
I've
about
been
us,
out for dinner already, and I said, I'm sorry, everyone, we've got to meet up, get the bill, because I need to go and record a podcast with the other two loves of my life.
He actually ran without paying the bill.
Did you do a max?
I did
a
max.
max.
Yeah, I'm going to go back tomorrow, collect all my stuff that I leave behind. Just like, I left my shoes behind. Oh, shit, I'll have to go back and get them tomorrow.
Left me portal there.
Yeah. On my Quest 3.
Oh, yeah. That's the new thing, isn't it?
Yeah, my new toy.
You liking those pancakes?
Oh, you know what? It does look really, they do look really good, don't they? They do
Joe.
look mighty fine. Yeah, I've not had too much time with it, so I'm not going to, I won't spend much time in this episode talking about it. I'm going to hold off. Let me spend a bit more time with it, and you can have my full review of the Quest 3 and the Quest ecosystem from a PSVR2 fanboy that I am.
I feel like we're moving into an alternative universe here because
Yeah.
I mean we've gone from PlayStation fanboy to the biggest Xbox fan, now moving over to Quest. To,
I'm going to ask Lelina if she wants to sort of strike up doing the Xbox podcast with me.
Yeah, we can get Xbox back.
Yeah, I know. I love my Xbox. Playing it today. Playing it today on my Quest. Yeah. There you go. See, I'm always bringing it back. To topic in hand. Just like we should now. And let's talk about what we're talking about this week. State of play. We had a state of play. No one thought there was going to be anything VR related because it's Sony, but there was. But before we get to that, remind everyone, if they'd like to support us, give us a sub on whatever service they're using, like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Follow us on Blue Sky at CrossButtonVR. And yeah, enjoy. And congratulations to everyone that won in our super mega giveaway last week. Reece, there was lots of people, weren't they? Lots of people.
Yeah. It went on to quite late, and I'm still incredibly tired after sending out all those keys. So yeah.
Well, thank you. I'm sure there'll be more giveaways to come soon, just given how much love we got for this one. So yes, thank you everyone who entered into that. But let's jump into the episode and let's talk about this week's state of play. There were 3 VR games.
Where though?
Or is it 2?
Or is it 2?
Or is it 2? No. It's
originally on the PlayStation blog, it stated that Five Nights at Freddy's was coming to PS5 and PSVR2 later this year, which was later updated to just say PS5. So,
Oh, right. I didn't see that.
Knows?
And the listing is now vanished on PSVR2 section as well. That's no longer there.
Oh, dear. Wow.
It's a mysterious toy, I would say.
Well, okay, so there were 3 games in. There was the Midnight Walk, Dreams of Another, both of which are definitely, they were confirmed in the state of play.
Yes.
PSVR2. And there was also Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic's Veil, which was the other game that they talked about there. So yeah,
it's great to have a game made about us. I mean,
I know,
really
it's not been going that long, and you've already got a game. We're fucking 2 years over here, and we're still got one. Unbelievable. And we're like mates with so many developers now as well. You think we could at least, we can't even get a voice acting gig. Can't even get a voice acting gig.
Yep, still waiting for Kane to come back to us about us all playing the cats in not heard anything yet. Kane, come on, mate, we're waiting.
Meow, yeah, cunt.
See, you can have that in every cat can say that.
But let's start with the Midnight Walk, because I think that was the first one we saw, so why not? Let's start there. That continues to look wonderful and amazing. I really can't wait for that one. Whereas Alex, you're not so hot on it now, are you?
No, I didn't want there to be as much shooting, and I felt like it just kept having guns, and I'm like, why does everything need to have a gun?
Well, that is true.
Could this game not have a gun? And I'm like, it really put me off, but I'm still looking forward to it. I still think the art style looks great, the premise looks great, like, it does look a bit special, but I just wished it wasn't have guns.
Well, I don't know that has guns plural. I think that you see one.
Well, it has a gun. Yeah.
But it's not really a gun. It's like more like a pot that is firing projectiles, like more like a cannon kind of thing. I think it's more
It's a
something's in
spout.
your way, blow it up. I don't see this as being a kind of run and
it's-
gun shooting type thing. I think it's
Hopefully
more of
not.
I think someone described it as like a cozy horror game, which I liked the description of. I don't think it's not like a shooter that you're around shooting stuff. I think it's more there are puzzles or things or obstacles you have to blow out of the way just to get out of your way, and you're using that cannon gun thing to just smash into things and stuff rather than having to sort of pick out targets and battle creatures. I don't know. I don't know enough about it.
Yeah,
'cause you can't really
that's
tell
kind
from
of
the
what.
thing, but
It's kind of the impression I got, though. I feel like the weapon's going to be more of a deterrent for the enemies around you. Like, that big thing where you shoot it and it runs away, that kind of thing. I feel like that's the main point of the weapon. That's what I'm gathering. But again,
maybe like to buy yourself some time if you get a bit
yeah,
pressured or-
exactly. Yeah. I'm still incredibly excited for this one. I think it still remains to be my most anticipated VR game coming at the moment.
Well,
So it says a lot.
yeah, I just think this is kind of what I want in VR. I don't want hyper realistic. These really imaginative, gorgeous, beautiful worlds. It's the sort of world that you want to go into. That you just being in that world in VR just really elevates it and makes it even more incredible and dreamlike and twisted and mad. Just to be in that world rather than just seeing it on your TV. You're actually going to be in that Tim Burton-esque type horror. Like, I don't know, what's the Nightmare Before Christmas kind of style world. Yeah. It's just great to sort of be in that claymation environment in VR. It's going to be so cool. And obviously this is going to be a hybrid game, so this is going to be on PS5 as well. So I guess if you buy this game, you'll just play it on both, and it'll be really interesting to see how they compare. I always find that with hybrid games, it's fascinating to be able to see the experience and how. I wonder if you play this in VR, then if you try and play it in flat, if it's like, oh god, this is rubbish. I hate this. But like with Gran Turismo, if you try and play that now in flat, it's bless your Ben. It seems so boring.
Poor Ben.
He's all right. He's all right tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think for me, it's just going to be one that I'll probably jump into in VR and won't touch the flat version.
No, sure. I wonder if it'll be one that you'll be able to just, if you have to start a whole campaign.
Oh, yeah. If it's like,
style.
yeah, if it's like that, then definitely I won't switch between the two. If it's, you can switch your save here and there, then I might give it a try, depending on how I'm feeling on one chapter.
Because Resident Evil 4 is like that. Once you start a campaign, you can't come out of it in there. You can only start a new file that's in flat. And that's what I did. I played the first few chapters in VR, and then I just jumped into it in flat to see how it compared. And it's like, oh man, this feels so different. And I'd never played Resident Evil in flat before. So yeah, it was the first experience it for the first time in VR. So it was so weird then playing it flat.
Yeah, it's a completely different game, isn't it?
Yeah, it is like gameplay wise, completely different gameplay.
Oh.
So that comes out on May the 8th as well, because we knew that was coming anyway, but we got a date for it now. So May the 8th, that's coming. So not a huge, long time to wait on that one, a couple of months. And that's coming to PSVR2, PS5, and Steam as well. So PC VR. Not coming to Quest this one, as far as we know. Yeah, that may change, but I mean, it does look like it's pushing the boundaries for PS5. And I think, did they announce? Maybe I'm making this up. There's a PS Pro enhancements for it as well. Maybe I'm making that up.
Probably.
I do talk shit.
I'd be surprised if there's not one, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be something, wouldn't there? But so yeah, that one is been done. We're very hyped for that. The other one we saw Five Nights at Freddy's, Secret of the Mimic. This one, I mean, I'm just looking at the upload.
I was going to say,
got a story about it. So I wonder if it's.
I think they're still waiting for actual response from Stillwall, whether it's going to be PSVR2 or not. I don't think they've got a full confirmation. So who knows? It was meant to be, but
I mean, it couldn't care less either way, because I'm never going to play.
Yeah, it's not like our sort of game, but apparently
It's not mine either. I've never been into the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. It's never ticked with me. So it's one of the ones where it's just going to go straight over my head anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was just looking for an article
Collectively all against it. Love it.
Yeah, well, it's not anything for me, but
That's the first.
Yeah, no, but I mean, just because it's not for us doesn't mean that other people wouldn't like it. I think.
Well, of course, we didn't say that, did we?
You did.
I did not.
No, it's yeah. Apparently, it was the big winner from the State of Play. Though, if you look at the trailers on YouTube, the number of views they were getting, this is as of yesterday. I think Five Nights at Freddy's was on 660,000 views for that trailer. The next one behind that was Tides of Annihilation on 377. And then if you go to like Saros, which is like a new first-party game, you think there'd be a lot of hype for that, was only 229. So it was like by far and away the most viewed trailer. So there is a huge audience for this.
Oh yeah,
this
Five Nights at
franchise
Freddy's has a huge following. It always has done. I mean, I'm still surprised of how that game blew up from where it started. Like, it still baffles me. Like, it's such a big story there. Like, to even now have a movie, it's crazy. So yeah. It's still.
And it seems to have a very young audience as well, because I mean, you go into Smiths and you get all these Smiths toys and you get all these Five Nights at Freddy's toys, and like, should you really be selling these? I mean, is this really suitable for this age range? But yeah,
where's it all come from? Is it because my son knows about it? They went, like, it must have been on some mobile game, or I don't know.
It was a mobile game.
Did they put it in Roblox or something at one point?
Possibly, but it was a mobile game at one point as well. You could play it on like the App Store and things like that. But yeah, it baffles me like how it started from that game where you just select cameras to now these first-person adventure horror games. Just from one person to a whole team, crazy.
Yeah, I mean, this game though, there is confusion as to whether it's come for VR or not. But in the uploaded article, they said they previously went hands-on with it in VR during PAX West in 2024, calling it a decent entry-level VR game. So it seems like someone has played this in VR before. So
yeah, there's some videos around as well, some content creators playing it.
So yeah, curious.
It's a bit bizarre.
Who knows what's going on with that one? So then the final third game, and I was really surprised by this, because we actually, not only did we get a couple of games shown, because I'm sure in State of Plays before in the past, they've mentioned if it's going to have PS2, and they didn't mention PSVR2 beforehand going into it, so everyone assumed there wouldn't be any, and maybe they were saving it for a special kind of blog update on the 2-year anniversary in a few weeks' time. So if you think fair enough, but then they did show some games, and they actually showed a third game as well, which was called Dreams of Another, and this looks like, well, I thought it was like some sort of PS1 style game at first, but then when you see the graphics more, you think actually there's a lot more going on here than it first seems. And then at the end, this is going to be in PSVR2 as well. And didn't look like a VR game to me at first, especially. But this game is one you're playing as a guy dressed in his pajamas with a machine gun, and you're going around this world that is just made in these kind of, what they call it, cloud pixels or something. There's some graphical,
something like that, yeah.
Some sort of graphical thing they've invented. Point cloud technology, they've called it. Where there's basically everything's big, chunky, like pixelated cloud things, and you shoot them with your gun, and then all these kind of pixels merge into objects and stuff. So the idea is you're going around, rather than destroying things with your gun, you actually create things with your gun, and the more you shoot them, the more you bring these things into life or something. It looks beautiful. You have to kind of watch the trailer for it, I think, for it to make sense. You can't describe it. It's like very ethereal, dreamlike, shimmering type graphic.
It gave me kind of Everyone's Gone to the Rapture vibes, like a little bit of that in terms of how it all kind of came together. And obviously they had all the little lights that came around to form the objects, and obviously this is kind of going the other way. But I think this will be the kind of game I like to see in VR, something a little bit different. And I think when you view this in the headset, I think this will look stunning. I think this is one that will really shine.
I'm looking forward to giving that one a go. I don't, again, like outside of VR, like when watching the trailer, but they didn't show any VR gameplay, did it? Which was a bit, I was kind of hoping for some.
No, I don't know. Is it going to be first person? Is it just going to be behind the camera, third person controlling? I don't know. I think it's going to be more third person. Still.
I want it to be first. Or give me the option. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like, again, just the trailer itself, it looked really trippy.
It looked trippy.
But I'm intrigued. Definitely intrigued by it. So I think, I mean, especially seeing as everyone thought there was going to be nothing mentioned about VR. It was nice to see 3 or 2, games to actually appear.
2 or 3 games.
Yeah, who knows? But no, it was nice to see some representation. They haven't, because everybody keeps saying, oh, they've forgotten about it, but they keep remaining to show games here and there. So there's still stuff coming.
What they didn't show, obviously, was any first-party games. So that elusive Astro Bot Rescue Mission port that I have confidently predicted for a while now is still remains to be seen, but that's fine. That's okay. There's plenty of time for us to reveal it later. It's fine. Don't worry. I'm not panicking yet. So yeah, no first-party games still. They're just given a platform for 2 or 3 third-party games. And interestingly, all 3 of these are hybrid games, so they can all be played flat and VR. And it just struck me as really interesting that this is probably where maybe most developers are going now, and that the VR market isn't big enough for them to sustain the cost of developing these games. And so actually they need to make them hybrid to justify the VR development at all, which I don't know how I feel about it, really. It'll be good to see when you play games like the Midnight Walk, if they are good VR games rather than just good games that also you can play in VR, or to what extent compromises have to be made by one, either the flat version or the VR version. It's going to be interesting to see, but I can totally understand where the devs are coming from, and why would you make a game that's going to be limited to 3 or 4, well, probably not even that, 2 or 3% of the whole PS5 audience. We heard this week that 75 million PS5s have now been shipped. No idea, obviously, on the number of PSVR2s, but it's probably just going to be a few million at most. What would you say?
Say 5 million max, I would say.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it was as high as that, but yeah, that's the sort of thing. So you're looking at a very tiny proportion of the total market. So yeah, less than 10% for sure. So yeah, if you're a developer making a game, you think, well, do I make it for the 5% of the audience, or do I make it for 100% of the audience, including that 5%? So I think going forward that we'll get more and more of this, and it's going to be interesting then to see how that causes the library to kind of diverge before you get on Quest, because obviously on Quest you can't have any game. No games on there are going to be hybrid because there isn't anything to be hybrid with. It's.
I mean, there is some games on Quest, albeit they're not hybrid, but there is ones that are on that are hybrid on PC that are on Quest, but just the VR version.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
So I suppose they could just do it like that. They could always, cut that part out of it to put it on Quest if they decide, okay, the VR version is getting a bit of traction. It might be worth now porting it across. But then again, if it comes to PlayStation first, you don't know what kind of, thing they've signed to keep it there for a bit and all that kind of stuff. I always kind of thought, like, when PSVR2 came out, I thought this was going to be the route they were going to be taking anyway, because it does seem, for Sony at least, to be the most, financial smart route to take for them, because they're not going to make their own VR games. They're not going to take one developer that could be making, the next Spider-Man and get them to make a VR game, because it's not going to do anything. I mean, did Half-Life Alyx ever make its actual... did it ever recoup its cost? I don't think it ever did. I can't remember. And that just says a lot. And that's been out for like 4 years now, 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not financially viable for Sony to be like, okay, let's make a Last of Us. Let's get Naughty Dog to do that. Unless they did, okay, get this part of it and make a section of it that's going to be VR. Let's see how that goes, and then kind of go from there, like a tech demo type thing. Because sometimes VR is just tech demos. Not all of it, but some of the good stuff, you can get some nice tech demos. So,
yeah, I think I mentioned. Did you ever play Reece on? Must have been a PSVR1 game. I think there was the Tomb Raider sequel that had a bit set in Croft Manor that you could play in VR.
Yeah, the DLC.
I'm sure a while ago I predicted that's the way that Sony would go with their first party games. You won't get God of War in VR, but you might get an additional mode that you can download as kind of a free download that you can play in VR that just gives you like another view on that world, just as a more of a kind of playable hour-long experience. And we haven't obviously had that, and it's a shame, because I'd be really happy with that. That would be enough for me, to be honest. If you just get tons of great kind of indie games, and then just your first parties just get these kind of smaller experiences in, that would, I'd be happy with that. But we don't seem to be getting that either. So.
That was a similar thing they did with, is it Concrete Genie, wasn't it? That was
VR, didn't it?
Yeah. That was literally just a mode broken off from the actual main game, where you played, I think it's 3 or 4 levels in VR, and it wasn't anything to blow your mind, but it was a nice little experience for people that had VR.
That game was so good, by the way.
I
Can't believe they closed down.
I know. I love that
Such a good game.
Really, really good. I remember rushing out and buying that on release. Like I don't know why something about it just gripped me. Yeah,
I played it on PS Plus at some point, but yeah,
really enjoyed it.
Anyway, but yeah, hybrid games. So you thought that would be their way. You're right in that, because obviously the Resident Evil games, GT, Gran Turismo, they're all hybrid games. These two new ones are hybrid, so yeah, it makes a lot of sense if you're a developer to do that. But it does then potentially, does it compromise the sort of, your VR games are at their best when they are built from the ground up for VR, because you get stuff like in Synapse where the gameplay is made around things like eye tracking and stuff, and you can't do that if you're making a hybrid game. Like Synapse would never work in a hybrid mode.
Yeah. I remember when the whole mention of hybrid was going around, though. I remember seeing some devs on like Twitter saying how it kind of will ruin game sales in a sense, because obviously if it matches the game sales for just one game being a hybrid game, multiple people buy that, then it's going to push other VR games down the charts. But I think that's a whole different ballpark and not really a consumer issue as much as it is of a development issue. But I can kind of understand their concerns there, because obviously you're going to get more people wanting to buy a game that's, it's a flat game. More people are going to buy it. It's just how it's going to work.
Yeah, because I don't know if Gran Turismo, when people buy GT7 on the PSN store, I don't know if that shows up as a VR purchase. I guess not.
Still the most. I think it's still the number one part on the most popular games on. If you go into the PSVR2 section, so I'm assuming it's doing something for it.
Yeah, no,
and it's
sure.
Same with the Resident Evils as well. They're always near the top row. So
yeah. Okay, well, I mean, I'm happy. I'd much rather have hybrid games than no games.
Exactly that. And if it means I can get God of War or, Spider-Man, The Last of Us, one of those to be in VR, even if it's just me to have a little bit of a walk around in that environment, I'm all for it, because that's all I want. Like, even if it's just like 5-10 minute experience, I think that would mean so much to me, just to kind of experience that, like be in that world of these games that I really like. But we'll soon see.
You get that even with like Horizon with its riverboat cruise, just seeing the dinosaurs from a completely different perspective and being on the ground, everything feels just so much more massive, because it is. And if you could do that in like The Last of Us, just have a sort of 10-minute VR experience would be awesome. Even if they just gave it away as a free thing that came with the PSVR2, I think a load of people would be like, well, I want to check that out. Bastards, come on Sony, do something.
Who knows? We'll find out in a couple of weeks. If they don't do it in a couple of weeks, they'll never do.
Well, yeah. Do you remember when, I think it was about June last year, there was a story saying that they've cut their VR development and now they're down to just making 2 internal first-party games for VR. And I'm like, 2? Fucking hell, I don't think they'd be making at least 2. That's incredible. Like, but we still haven't seen any since then. So it's been like nearly a year since then. So yeah, in theory, there were rumours were that there were 2 first-party games in development. So who knows? Maybe we'll get one of them at some point. Yeah, you think when as I said, I'm sure I said it a week or 2 ago, that when the headset first came out, they must have had some other games in development. That's why they must have greenlit at least one other game for the second half of the headset's life on the market. So we haven't seen that yet. So presumably at some point another game is going to emerge. They wouldn't have, because even if now they think, well, it's just not worth putting the resources in. It's like, well,
Gran Turismo 8.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's got to happen, isn't it? When they release Gran Turismo 8 and just completely be like, yeah, we're not putting VR in it, we didn't see the need. And that's when people are going to start panicking if that happens.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We're getting Gran Turismo 8 this generation, so it's probably...
Yeah, that's a valid point.
It's probably not by the time that does come out, I'd be surprised if... Yeah, maybe we'll be on PSVR 3 by then. Or not. So yeah, that was a state of play. We'll wait and see if... I think when we get to the 2-year anniversary, it's going to be about a week or so from now. They're not going to do anything beyond a blog post with maybe 5 or 6 or 3 or 4 games on it. But yeah, that'd be nice. So maybe that'll be the next bit of official, bit of Sony love that they give. It'd be very surprising if they don't at least acknowledge the fact it's been out for 2 years. But we'll see.
Like, try and brush past it. You see like a tumbleweed just go past on the website when you load it up on the day.
Probably. If you go on the website, there's on the VR thing, there's a coming soon to PSVR2 section. There's so many of the games that have already come out now. It's just like, come on, guys, just get someone in here. You must have an intern that you can send here to go just update this and just delete these things off and move them into the games you can now play on it. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
Some of the games have been out for like 6 months. It's like, come on.
It's just poor.
It's just their lack of interest in it.
But that's what we've said, though. The management side of it, the marketing side of it has always been the issue. And it relies on content creators, podcasts, Twitter, literally just to keep promoting this headset.
It's a sad state of affairs, and you rely on us to promote. I
found it quite funny though, because there was an image going around where it's like PSVR2 and Quest, and it was like a friendly image, and actually Meta responded to it going, and this is the way it should be, or something like that. And I was like, if only Sony responded to this as well, and we'd have both known that's not going to happen, is it? Because they're not going to acknowledge it like it.
No.
Yeah, so I just found it quite amusing.
So yeah, state of play then, chaps. Anything non-VR that really stood out and grabbed you?
A lot.
Well, give us your highlight or two.
Borderlands 4, 100% getting that. I'm a big fan of the Borderlands games, so they're going to be all over that for me. Mind's Eye.
Yeah, that looked cool, didn't it? That's former GTA devs split off, so that's why it looked like such a GTA game. It's like,
a lot of people keep bringing up that it looks like one of the games that they cancelled. And it almost kind of resembles that in a way. I think it's called Agent or something, and it was a cancelled Rockstar game, and there's a lot of connections to that. So I think that looks really good. Metal Eden, another first-person shooter. Yep, straight away.
You love them, don't you, Reece? You love these games. These are like all the ones that I just glaze over when they go to the next one.
And lastly, Directive 8020, 100% going to be there day one. That for me, as long as they don't take out the co-op feature or change it to how it was in Quarry, I'm going to be all over that.
That was what I was going to say. Directive 8020. That was my pick. That looked very good, and I've not played any other Dark Pictures games other than Until Dawn. They've never looked that much. This looks less like a horror. This is more sort of sci-fi horror sort of thing. I really like the whole aesthetic of this one. So yeah, on board with that one.
There was that other game that is it Tides of Annihilation? Was that showing up state of play as well?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. It's at the London post-apocalyptic.
Yeah. Oh no, that was a different one, wasn't it?
That one?
Yeah, that one looked good as well, but I can't remember the name of it. Tides of Annihilation looked interesting as well, though. I'm definitely intrigued by that. And then that London post-apocalyptic.
That was Tides of Annihilation.
That was Tides of Annihilation.
100%. Yeah.
I'm losing my mind. There was too many games, and I'm just like,
there were a lot of games. That's for sure.
Metal Gear Solid, but I already knew about that, and I know that's one I'm going to pick up. But I refuse to want to spend.
I thought that trailer looked pretty ropey, if I'm honest.
Well, the thing is, I refuse to spend £50 to £60 for a one-to-one remake of a game that I played years ago. Like, and I don't care how good it looks. I refuse to do it. I didn't do it for The Last of Us Part 1, and I'm not doing it for this as well because, go fuck yourself.
Wow, strong feelings there from.
It's. I mean, I'm all about remasters and remakes, and I'd say this is a game that does warrant a remake, but again, it's a big ask for a 1-to-1, But I will get it 100%, just not on release. I don't think.
No, it's not.
The Little Octopus game looked quite fun.
Yeah, I was a big fan of that.
That's very much an Alex game. That one.
Yeah, no, an Amiga.
I can't remember what it was called, but
it was like Darwin's Paradox. That was basically like Limbo with an octopus.
Yeah, that looked good.
So
obviously, everyone's excited for Days Gone as well, right?
I can't wait.
Yeah, they won.
Can't wait. And then obviously there was a lot of Ichiban and Pirate Yakuza. So I'm very, very, very ready for Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii next week.
Is that like another? Are they like 100-hour games? So they're pretty massive.
No, the kind of spin-offs are a bit shorter. So maybe just about 30 or 40, I think. So it's not as big. But I've seen a few kind of previews and some articles around it and some really good comments.
Yeah, I've heard
on
good
it, so
stuff
I'm really
already.
looking forward to it. And this is going to be a lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to hearing you talk about it non-stop on the Mimic's Vow when it comes out. Just simply
You'll
because...
be hearing it for a few weeks, I would imagine.
That's the thing. But whenever you talk about Yakuza, you get so passionate about it. It's almost like, I could just listen to him talk about this for like a good 30 minutes because he gets right into how much he enjoys this game. It's just,
it's funny as well because
it's infectious. It's very infectious when Alex talks about Yakuza games.
It'd be funny as well because it's like the sort of game that I'm guessing is just going to make Lewis like glaze over on one. I'd just be like, what?
Probably.
I can't imagine Lewis.
Why are you playing this?
Right, it's angry. Just make him angry. It's just looking at it.
I think the last spin-off I played of Yakuza was the Dead Souls one, which was pretty cool. But again, this one just seems a bit more wacky and funny. So
There was a Yakuza Dave the Diver crossover as well.
Yeah,
Which looks
Shivan's going into Dave the Diver.
Yeah, I love Dave the Diver, but I refuse to believe anyone finished that game because it just goes on for it's like 4 times longer than it needs to be.
I feel like
here's a whole
Miles
other
did.
game at the end of this. Like, here, let's do
It's
this
just,
now.
Yeah,
Like,
and then
no.
there's like they keep doing all these expansions. I'm like, I can't believe anyone wants to play more of this game. But this one does look like there's like a Streets of Rage style mode to it, and as well as the normal gameplay. So it just looks great. I mean, it's a fantastic game. But...
Yeah, I mean, it's just when you mention Sheets of Rage.
Sheets of Rage.
There,
That's what happens when you change the bedding.
Did that earlier. Shinobi, look.
Oh yes,
very, very good. That looked very good because it was Streets of Rage 4 developers that are making that, and I thought that really stood out when was that the second game shown. Maybe it was certainly early on in the presentation. I thought that looked really good, and the new Sonic Racing game that looked fun.
I mean, I completely forgot State of Play was going on because I started playing A Way Out with the missus. We were sitting on the sofa playing it on our Legions, and I completely forgot that State of Play. And I looked at the chat and saw like 30 messages between all you. I was like, oh shit, State of Play's on. So I missed a lot of it. I had to catch up the highlights.
You just reminded me. You saying that is that Split Fiction game. I thought that was really good.
We've already got that pre-ordered already. Yeah, when it was announced. Yes, one of you just buys it, and then the other one can just join in. But literally, I think it was when it was announced. Is it the Game Showcase? Not Game Showcase. What was the one with Jeff Keighley?
Awards.
Yeah, that one. When he announced it there, literally pre-orders went up, and she pre-ordered it straight away. So we're incredibly excited to play that one at the beginning of March.
Yeah, it's nice you've got someone you can play it couch co-op with and stuff. Yeah. I'll try and break my son in. I don't think he'll enjoy the game so much, but I'm like, just play it so I can play the game. It's a story because I don't think my wife would be much use of it. Yeah. So I mean, we love my son to play it with me.
Yeah, we really liked It Takes Two. So
yeah, that was a state of play then. Probably now we'll have to wait another 4 months for the next update in June if they do one then. Presumably they will, but who knows? Maybe not.
You've also got the Borderlands 4 state of play to look forward to.
Oh yes, of course.
Can't hold the excitement.
I missed that. There's actually a specific one just for Borderlands 4.
A whole Borderlands 4, like whole show just about that.
Even then, like I like Borderlands games, but I know they're the same thing just with a different gameplay. Like they change it up a little bit. It's not enough to make you go, oh, this is completely new. So I don't think I need a whole 30-minute show telling me the ins and outs of a game that I know pretty much is going to be.
Well, your game
similar.
Won't, so.
Well, I don't want it.
Suck it up, Reece.
Let's just hope it doesn't suffer the fate of the last one that we had.
What last one? Last Borderlands?
No, the last state of play focused on a game.
Was that Concord?
No, it was, it might have been Concord, but the one I was thinking of was Suicide Squad, so.
Oh, yeah, that was also terrible, yeah.
No, I miss Concord. I don't care what people said. I actually really enjoyed that after the first time we played it.
That's why the PSN went down. It was just trying to get Concord
bring it back.
Try and bring Concord back.
Come back, Concord!
It's so bizarre. I still can't believe they just completely deleted it. Surely, just do it as a free-to-play and put it out there and just sell loads of cosmetics to people and just, I don't know. The fact that it's got like that Amazon TV series or spin-off of it, they put so much work into creating that world, and just like 2 weeks later, no, it's not working, pull it. It's like, well, hold on a minute, maybe no. They've actually went completely Netflix on it. It's just like, no, cancel it. Like, mad
it
bastards.
Definitely, when me, Alex, Ben and Phil played it, it definitely gave us that one more game vibe for quite a bit. Let's be honest. We did have fun. I mean, we were playing it to like 1 a.m. in the morning, so I feel like it did.
Wow.
It might be like 12, but we did play it for quite a bit.
Can you remember why we were playing it till 1 o'clock in the morning? Because I can. Because we wanted to win a match.
We wanted to win at least one game.
Reece won a trophy, probably.
No, although the platinum on it was not difficult, and it was. I feel so sorry for the people sitting at 98% right now. Like I can never platinum that game.
Poor
it's a shame. Definitely a shame because it was quite fun. Should have added VR to it. There you go. That might have spun it around.
Hey, nice segue to bring us back to VR.
Yeah, have to do that.
Let's.
Otherwise, I'll be here all day talking about non-VR games. There's too many of them.
Yeah, well, maybe we should one week. Great. Look, we've been going for quite a while now, already. Let's just jump straight into the news. Resist, Reece, is coming to PSVR2. That's all we know. Resist is a game that's previously been out on Quest. Have you played this one, Reece?
No.
I just
Have you
assume
played
you
this one,
played
Laurie, on your
everything.
Quest?
No, but you played everything.
Nah.
It's kind of a sci-fi kind of. It looks really cool. I don't know what you describe it as. What sort of genre would it be? It's kind of like
swing around a town, action adventure.
Action adventure.
Shooter.
It's got swinging mechanics on it. I was watching it thinking this could really be a Spider-Man game, couldn't it?
Swinging? That's good for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, you can swing in. No, it's an action RPG with a kinetic swinging system, says the blurb. But it looks really nice. It's got some cool art style, cool graphics. You're swinging around, just blowing up baddies and robots and stuff. Looks cool. It's cool.
Smashing baddies.
Blowing up baddies, smashing shit up. Yeah, causing mayhem, having fun while you're doing it. Yeah. So we don't know. That's out now on Quest. But it's coming to PSVR2. That's all they've said.
Yep.
Devs have said more info soon.
Yes,
but,
soon.
Soon.
Not soon enough.
Also on sale right now on Quest. Just if.
Okay. Maybe I'll pick it up then.
£15 down to 10.
Maybe not then.
We have also got another game coming to PSVR2, and this is iRobot. Is that what it's called? Is it really called iRobot? I've got to check that. iRobot, that's that dodgy Will Smith film, wasn't it?
Pending copyright from whatever studio made the movie.
Yeah, well, it's the Asimov novel. It's actually it's not a Will. It's not a Will Smith film. But anyway, there's a PSVR2 game. Anyway. So this is a remake of an Atari arcade that it's a bit like the one. What was that one that we played?
It gave me
Aka
vibes.
Yeah. God,
Isn't it made by the same person?
It is.
Yeah. Jeff Minter, is it?
It's Mr. Minter, indeed.
I can't remember that, but that came. So it's that same very psychedelic, very colourful, very Atari arcades, mad jet. Yeah, you watch the trailer for this, and if you like Aka R, this is probably going to be right up your street. If you didn't like Aka R, you're probably not going to like this.
I never tried Aka R, and it looked like something that would really hurt my eyes, so I'd avoid it.
It did make me feel a bit sick playing it, but I think it's probably a really cool game if you like those Atari arcades and you can get into that flow state. I imagine it's pretty trippy and transcendental, but yeah, it wasn't one for me. I don't like scoring games. I don't like leaderboard games. Sorry, Jeff.
No, and I mean, again, that's kind of Reece and I were talking about this earlier in the week because I seen the press release for this and completely missed the fact that it was coming to VR because nowhere in the press release did it mention VR at any single.
Yeah, another hybrid game. Yeah, another hybrid game. So this is coming to PS5 and PC, and then also PSVR2. Yeah, there's no Quest version.
Switch, Xbox One, PlayStation, Atari.
Switch,
everything.
Yeah. Everywhere.
Everything.
Quest.
Just drop it everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, if it plays on PSVR2, you have to assume they're going to bring it across. But is Aka on Quest? Who knows? No one knows.
I don't think so.
It's impossible to find out. So let's not dwell on it.
That is true.
Yeah, nobody knows.
It could be in there somewhere.
You search for it, you won't find it. It might be there, though.
Maybe. We got a date on that one? No one knows.
No, not yet.
No date confirmed yet. So, yeah. For fans of Aka R, check that one out.
Just spring 25.
Spring. Well, that'll do. It's better than what we had before. Next up, we've had some coverage of the Alien Rogue Incursion, which has now come to Quest. And sadly, it doesn't sound like it's held up very well. Have you jumped into this one yet? Reece, have you managed to get
I've not had a chance to jump into it. I was going to play some of it before this, and then I was playing some Ashen Arrows instead. So
fair enough. Well, yeah. So I haven't played on Quest. I have seen like a graphics side by side comparison now, and I've got to say it's sometimes with these things you look at them and you think I just cannot see any difference in this, but yeah, there's quite a noticeable lack of the sort of steam and fog effects, the lighting, the sort of dynamic and stuff. It looks a lot sort of flatter and but I mean, this is what we said last week. If you want to play those kind of high-end, high-fidelity games, you need the grunt of the PS5, and you need to send that down a cable. Quest is magical. It's the whole thing. It's just everything is held on that thing in front of your eyes, and it's so thin. So the trade-off for that is that it can't do these sorts of games as well. So yeah,
exactly. But I mean, all these graphic comparison videos, every time I've watched them, have you just went, no shit? Of course, it's going to look better on the PSVR2. Like, is this really warranted? Like this to do like 7 of these different videos?
Well, I guess clicks and it's all about clicks. But stuff like I thought like Metro Awakening, that Quest version, that was the one that I really couldn't tell the difference of. That looked really.
That did better. But they have Servius have put out a post saying, yep, okay, they're going to be working on trying to get the graphics to a bit of a better standard. And I mean, in the grand scheme of things, if you look at it and completely ignore, PSVR2 and PC, it doesn't look entirely too bad for a Quest game. But yeah, I'll jump into it at some point. I'm more concerned about like frame drops and things like that. That's more what I'm concerned about than graphic drops. So yeah.
At the end of the day, no one's going to be playing it on that and then going to Quest. Then, if you're buying it for Quest, you're not going to have seen the PSVR2 version, so you probably don't.
Yeah, exactly.
If you haven't seen the higher end version, but it does look rough. That's for sure. But yeah, I just think it's a great example of what we were talking about last week. And that there isn't really a clear best option that just wins hands down. I think it just depends on what you're looking for, on the sorts of games that you want to play, and the sort of compromises you're willing to put up with. Really, neither headset nails everything, and they both do certain things brilliantly. So, and I think this is an example of one that the power of the PS5 really comes in handy, or a PC. Speaking of games getting patches and updates, Behemoth has got a Behemoth update. It's his second big patch, and there's more to follow as well. But this is apparently a major patch with hundreds of different fixes on it. Since it came out, I actually jumped back into Behemoth this week. Once again, completely blown away. I actually was playing it, and then I had to stop playing because the state of play started, and I was like, oh, damn it, just got so close to unlocking a new weapon. But yeah, it's such an impressive game. I must say, I don't really notice any difference patch-wise. I probably noticed some visual jank for the first time when I don't remember seeing any before, so I don't know if they've broken stuff in it or not.
The way patching works, isn't it? They break something.
Yeah, I kept having like a rogue arm just kept appearing out of my body at just like some unnatural angle. And I thought I was being attacked by someone. I thought someone had snuck up on me and was clipping through me, but no, it was my own arm. It was quite a surreal experience. And that had happened a couple of times in the hour or so that I was playing it.
See, I find that happening a bit more just now when one of my controllers don't track quite right.
I think it probably is
all over the place.
I usually find it used when you put your hands like by your hips or something like that, and then all of a sudden it just kind of appears out of nowhere. It does it a lot on Quest as well sometimes.
Need to stop doing a time warp.
Well, you've both fantastically segued up to the next bit of the news, which is hand tracking is now active on PSVR2. This is the first game we've seen that now utilises this feature, so you can now play games without the controllers.
Yes, you can.
And Reece, you've been playing one. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I tried it. I thought I had to jump in and give it a go straight away. First off, I just want to point out that there was no headset update at all to get this working. There's nothing, which surprises me because I thought that would have had to, I thought we would have had some form of update.
Unless we just don't know when it didn't do something.
Or unless it's been there all along, but they've just only allowed it. Who knows? Plot thickens. But anyways, I gave it a go. It feels incredibly smooth. Like, it's when you go back and you play Quest, I will say Quest is better at spotting your fingers and where they are, and like you can overlap more like that on the Quest, and it won't kind of, when you do it on the PSVR2, your hands will kind of go like this and then kind of like mess around together. But if you're not trying to do all that and identify like proper doing all the finger tracking, it does like moving your fingers all individually. That works all perfectly fine. And yeah, it was incredibly smooth. But hand tracking for me works best on games when you don't have to move around an area inside the game. I think that's when it becomes a bit more cumbersome and just a bit finicky. And that's what Walks the Wizards is like with hand tracking. So I do avoid it. But yeah, I was actually surprised with how smooth it was. It was nice to see. I'm looking forward to seeing more games use it. And yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Because there's quite a few Quest games where you can just use either, can't you? Like, it's so easy on the Quest to put the controllers down and you just start playing.
That's literally what you have to do on here. Well, I mean, on the Quest, obviously you tap the controllers together and then that indicates you're now into hand tracking mode. Whereas this, you literally just put the controllers down and wave your hands in front of your face a little bit, and it's like, oh, there you go, there's your hands. Or you can load the game with your DualShock controller and put your hands in front of your face, and that works too. I thought it worked quite smooth getting straight into that hand tracking thing without having to go into options or anything. So it was quite well implemented, to be fair.
Cool. Well, I look forward to seeing some more games that make use of it.
Yeah, hopefully Masters of Lights gets an update, because obviously that uses hand tracking on Quest. So hopefully
did you say Maestro is one that is pretty integral to not using the controllers? You have to use your hands on that one. So
you can use controllers.
I'll get a port.
Yeah, you can use controllers, but it just don't feel as fun. So I'm hoping it does come across. And I think that's one game that would work well with hand tracking on PSVR2, because it doesn't make you kind of intertwine your hands or anything like that. You're just keeping them two separate positions. And I think that would work perfectly on the PSVR2.
Yeah, and I wonder if
Thrasher as well.
What?
Thrasher.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that. I keep forgetting Thrasher. But yeah, that works really well with hand tracking.
Does Trombone Champ, is that a good hand tracking game?
Hand tracking?
I don't know.
I don't know if that has hand tracking.
I would like to see Toy Monsters come across as well. I like that one. It's still one of them ones with hand tracking that I always kind of recommend to people. It's like Plants vs Zombies, but in VR, which I thought was pretty cool. But cool. There's a lot of games that can come across now if they wanted to.
Right, we better quickly move on to what we've been playing, because this is running to be a long old episode.
Let's breeze through them. Let's go quick. Come.
Well, Reece, why don't we start with Captain Toonhead that you and I have both.
It's great.
Playing.
Cool. Next.
No, come on. We owe them more than that.
Yeah,
it's because it's a tower defense game. People don't know.
Yes,
it's a tower defense game in VR. You are essentially in the battlefield. You've got waves of enemies coming at you, and you can sort of point at those different spots where you want to deploy cannons.
Turrets.
Yeah, turrets and what the
turrets.
Okay, turrets. Who will take out the enemies for you. And yeah, it's good fun, isn't it? I can see why you like it.
Yeah, I love this game. It is underrated to me. I think nobody talks about it enough. And yeah,
when did it come out?
It's been out on Quest and Steam for a good while. It came out on the American store. I say about 4 months prior to it came out on the EU store, and I think that staggered release probably didn't do them too many favors. So it came out last year, definitely, that's for sure. I want to say like September or October time, maybe even a little bit before that.
I think it may have even been before that. It feels like a while ago we played it.
It's definitely a while
I really
ago.
liked it.
Yeah, we spoke about it before because we played a little bit there, but I mean, I started playing it.
I tell you, it came out in July 24.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it says the PSN store.
Okay,
which is that was so under the radar, wasn't it? Like, guys, come on, get your PR people on the case.
Well, that's the thing. I was speaking to Dev, and he's wording, and I think it's pretty accurate, is that the game itself has good ratings, but it doesn't really have much people talking about it. And I think that's a very valid point, because every rating I've seen has been quite positive for the game. It is what it sets out to do. It does really well. I just find the voice acting really bloody good.
I was going to say, the voice acting is really confident. Like the sense of humour with it. It's better than it needs to be for a game like this. Like you don't expect it to be as good as it is. It's surprisingly how well acted it is and how much they put into it. Like they've got proper actors doing it, and
they did get a couple of actual proper voice actors. But then two of the characters in the game is actually voiced by one of the people that works at the company. And I thought it's just the voice acting is really good. The gameplay is incredibly smooth. It's just a very well polished game and I've not run into any issues so far. And I think when I've ended up playing it, I just get incredibly addicted when I'm playing this one. So just go out and check it out. Watch a couple of trailers, watch a couple of videos. It's definitely one. If you like tower defense games, you're going to have a blast with this.
And the sense of humour, I think some people would just roll their eyes at a lot of it, but it's so silly. It's just silly, It doesn't take itself seriously at all. You can't help but laughing at the first scene where the burrito in the microwave and just all the crew are dead. It's just like, this makes no sense, but okay, just go with it. And the graphics are kind of, I don't mean this in a bad way, but it's kind of like N64 era graphics. It kind of looks like that kind of low, chunky polygonal look.
Yeah, everything looks quite big, don't it? And
it's big and chunky and colourful. It just reminded me, it looked like an N64 game, but like a modern, like how you remember N64 games to look. So obviously it looks a lot better than what an N64 game did. But I think it is good fun, like you say. $15.99 as well, so it's not
well
an expensive
worth it.
game.
Well,
not an expensive game. Price. Good fun, very silly. Yeah, it's tower defense. Everyone loves tower defense games, don't they, Alec? You love them.
I mean, I did enjoy this game at the time, but I mean, it's not really my number one genre. I'm not going to say I have played a couple on Steam and stuff, but I get a bit bored.
Yeah, I think that's a valid point. I think some people can, but I don't know. So it was, I think, my era of like these type of games, the mini clip style games where you just have like balloon towers defense, all that kind of thing. And I think tower defense games have always been like something I've played here and there, and I think in VR they work quite well.
Yeah. All right, so that's Captain Toonhead. Check that one out. And also Dodgecraft, the new release we've been playing. That's on PSVR2 and Quest as well, isn't it? Second game from Incisive. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's good. It is good fun. It's good workout.
It is. It's hard work. I was like, bloody hell.
Make sure you're not near anything.
Yeah, I know. Did a few of the modes. The ones I'd prefer the one where it's like the people running at you, or the little robots running at you.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Have to just sort of smash them off. The one where you have to, there's like a big block. There's one mode that it's got big blocks coming at you, and you have to go and dodge them to the side. And that, for me, I was like, this is entire games. I like this, and this is just one of 3 modes. So I thought it was quite a generous game in that it's essentially multiple games in one. Because there's that mode.
A couple of mini games, isn't it? You got the 2 modes. You got run the gauntlet and then dodge them, which are the 2 modes that you've got. And I think they work quite well. They're quite fun.
Yeah, so the one where the sort of robots and then the sort of virtual knights and people run at you. I like the one where you have to pull off the little tag off them, and they're sort of ducking and diving and stuff. Yeah, I think if you're into your sport, and you'd love this game. I think if you like your rugby and those sorts of trying to just move quick to that fancy footwork kind of stuff, I think I can see how it's a good training tool, but it's good fun. And I think compared to, I think I'd rather play this than games like Beat the Beats, or there's a bit more to this. So it's a bit more. I just like the randomness of it. Like, you don't know where those robots are going to go, so you have to sort of stay on your feet and just watch them. And if they're going to duck and dive, and you have to sort of go after them. Stuff. So it was good fun.
Yep, it's good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it on Quest, and I've been enjoying it more on PSVR2. Plus, there's a platinum. Although it does seem quite grindy, I think they've accidentally made it very hard in the process of putting trophies in it. But yeah, that's good. That's going to take you a while if you want to go for the platinum.
And that's £10 on.
Yeah, PSN. Good price.
Yeah, again, good fun.
Alex,
so that's all I've been playing. Alex, go on. You have a turn.
Okay, so I have been playing Human Within. One I wanted to talk about for a wee while, but it's taken me a while to actually get through it. And it's hard to call this a game, but it's more of an experience with branching narratives based on the choices you take in. And I think the best way to describe this is basically an interactive sci-fi short film. Like, I think that's probably, like, it is all acted by real actors, and it's almost like an episode of a sci-fi thriller, right? And you're in there, and you're basically playing the role of one of the characters who's in some sort of coma. But the whole premise of the film is you're these 2 sisters who have devised this new sort of technology that can use the human brain to interact with AI. But it turns out that when it does do that, you can gain access to basically every electronic device in the planet. And then when you are in some of these scenarios, all these screens appear round about you, and it's like social media, it's people's phones, it's security cameras, it's all these different things that you're watching and using to see what's going on in the story. And then at different points, it shows you like clips of the film, and it says it gives you 2 options and say either do A or do B, and you turn your head to choose it. And then that depends on how the story moves on. And there's little bits of mini games going through it as you're going, and you need to like join these different cubes together and marking them, or you can recreate scenarios based as it's almost as if the AI has recreated like the environment, and you're exploring this environment to work out how you're going to basically get the data and the info that you need to move on to the next stage. It's really cool. Like, it's really cool.
I'm glad you said that, because all the way you was explaining it, I was like, do you think he's good or not?
Yeah, I can't tell.
Yeah, I was like, where's he going? I think he's cool.
And I mean, you're like an hour to 90 minutes for a playthrough. You're not.
Okay.
Okay, that was going to be my first question: is how long does the whole thing last?
Yeah,
each playthrough lasts.
And I think there's 5 different endings depending on all the different things that you can do. So you can go back and redo some of the decisions and then work out when. And this isn't really a spoiler, but when you finish it for the first time through, it gives you the map, and it basically shows you all the decision
like
points,
Quantic Dream style.
Decisions you can take, and things like that. And, I mean, it's well acted, it's well done. well produced. I think it just feels like quite different when you're in it, and it's just a nice experience. I think I've seen a few people that it's like VR Bandersnatch, it's that kind of thing. And it's I'd recommend this. I think go give it a go. Something, as I say, something a bit different, something you could play through 4 or 5 times to get all the different scenarios, all the different endings, and just it's a really cool use of VR, and it's really well done.
Yeah, no, this is definitely one I want to play on the Quest. 100%.
Yeah, it does look good. Yeah. And we did play one more game. We'll quickly cover it. Ashen Arrows.
Mm-hmm.
We played that in co-op, and we had a lot of fun with it. We didn't play it for too long. I feel it felt like a lot less, but we ended up playing for about an hour, I think it was, and we did the 20 wave mode, and it was really good fun. The different skills you can get and unlocks in the actual game itself really added nice elements to the actual waves, even though they were quite basic. It wasn't over the top or anything, but it was just a lot of fun, and it can be played up to 3 people on the Bastion mode, which I found really fun. We don't know how to access the story on co-op, although I did try a little bit of the story myself today, and I think I prefer the Bastion mode, if I'm honest, just the wave thing. But no, it was a lot of fun, and by the time we got to wave 20, our arms were absolutely killing us.
Yeah, they were feeling it.
Yeah, it's good though. It's a nice bow and arrow. Again, it's a bit of a tower defense wave shooter game. It's well done. So that's coming out soon. I think it's on the 20th. It might be coming out on Quest. I think you can get in early access already on Steam, and if it does well, they're going to be bringing it over to PSVR2. No, I've had good fun with it.
You can kill cats,
and that's where we end it.
I shouldn't do my outro this week. We'll just end it there when you do the edit. And that's where we end it. That will be good. No, that can be where we end it. So thank you, chaps. Unless you have any other final thoughts or anything you've played?
No, nothing else from me.
No, well, that's been a jam-packed episode.
I'm good.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. If you enjoyed it, please tell your family and friends all about us, and please jump into your Discord where you'll find me once again and say hello to us all there. Yeah, I remember the Discord exists this week. Thank you, everyone that has done so already. It's great seeing everyone there. I have been your host, Laurie. These two have been Alex and Reece, and we will see you again next time. Until then, goodbye.